I am guilty of introducing new elements myself, so I don't see the harm.
You're something of a scientist yourself, is what you just said.
Yeah. Welcome to the Loincloth Hour. This is a podcast where I, Sid, and my fellow
True.
partner in crime, Manny, aka Manicorn, we both dissect and interpret our favorite shows and talk about how gay they are.
They're all gay.
They
They're
are
all
all gay.
extremely gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the pundits have a point when they say that like media turned the youngsters, the youth, gay back in the day.
That is very true, and that may very well be the case. Yes,
I think it
Gargoyles.
helped in that case.
Gargoyles was a big contender for that. So, we are on the fifth and final part of Awakening. We have finally
We're
completed.
so close to the end of this. We're finally almost at the end.
This is the end. Beautiful friend.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Before we go on and talk about this episode, though, I do have to mention we got fan art
What?
the other day. It's by Spiffy Goblin on Twitter. And yeah, it's just art of Hudson.
Oh yeah, I love that
And,
piece.
that studded leather harness,
Mm-hmm.
which is extremely daddy, over like a very hairy chest and body.
Yeah, he's got a
Yeah,
good old hairy
Doc-
belly.
everything is good about this picture.
Yes.
And he's just pointing at the viewer and saying, "On your knees, lad."
God, it's very good.
I enjoy that quite a bit. But like, instead of just listening to me describe this to you, viewer, you should just go and look at it.
Yeah.
It's by Spiffy Goblin on Twitter, and if you follow us, the Loincloth Hour on Twitter, we retweeted it
Yes.
whenever this was posted. I think it was like a week ago.
Yes.
So go and look at that because it's great. And I hope if more artists are listening, they should also draw more hot gargoyle men because we like that.
You can
And
never.
everyone likes that. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, you can never have too many hot gargoyle men, in the world. To be quite honest.
Absolutely not.
All right. So, with that being said, we can begin breaking down this episode.
It's another one where a lot happens, so we're probably going to be here for a while.
There's a lot of drama, but who knows? This is it starts out very action packed and it ends with a lot of drama. Like the first half of this episode, I was just like, "Oh shit, son," and then the second half, I was just like crying internally.
I don't like the first half is so fun, and then like they hit you with like the high drama at the end.
Yeah,
It's really effective. But okay, so previously on Gargoyles, the trio that is Brooklyn, Broadway, and Lexington, it seemed like they were about to die because there's like 50 guys pointing guns at them.
Because they're in the elevator shaft trying to get the disc for Xanatos.
They're just hanging onto the tables, looking like what is their look? Like deer in the headlights, I guess.
Yeah, their looks are not animated that well, because last episode, it's like they drew two different reaction shots. Like last episode...
No, they're both fantastic. They both look great.
Last episode, Broadway was missing his legs, and this episode, like, they're all my sleep paralysis demon because of how...
They used all their animation budget last episode for Broadway, like, pushing his ass onto Lexington's head. So, like, I can forgive them missing a few body parts once in a while, as long as they keep giving us that sort of content.
They don't have to draw any other body part other than just the butt.
No, just butt, yeah.
It's just, the show could be just a bunch of disembodied butts flying around, and I'd be pretty satisfied with that.
You mean gliding on currents of air.
Oh my god. So, yeah, we pick up where we left off. These goons are pointing guns at our boyos, and Brooklyn just kind of, like, chuckles and is like, "Oh, sorry, we're on 4. And then...
So cool. I hate him. He's such a fuckboy. Yeah, so then they just...
He's pretty likable.
They just, like, scatter as all these bullets just, like, start coming at them, and they all, like, just climb with very scared looks on their faces up to the next floor where Broadway just like, he performs a feat of strength and he pushes
Yeah.
those doors open.
Yeah, so it's interesting to note that the floor they were directed to go towards had like all these guns pointed at them. It's not addressed again, but I just think it's a little sus. Xanatos is getting a little sussy.
But that doesn't make any sense though, because this mission that they're on is the real deal. Like Xanatos isn't controlling these installations that they're breaking into.
Nah,
This is
nah.
what the fuck company is this? Um oh my god. What is this company? It's like I
They
wrote
do,
it
they
down
don't
before.
they don't
Where did
say, do
where
they
did
say
I
the
put that?
name?
Yes, they say it a bunch of times.
Okay, so
Cyberbiotic. It's
cy-
cyberbiotic. So
I
Xanatos doesn't
thought
control this company.
I thought they said that it was a cyberbiotic company, and I'm just like, oh, I guess that's like a genre or brand of company. I didn't take that for the actual
Oh,
name.
I think the name is cyberbiotic.
Well, we'll have to look this up on the Gargoyles wiki at some
I
point.
already did.
Oh my god, you
Well, I mean, we'll get into it more in a future episode because we're going to meet the boss of cyberbiotic at some point.
Oh yeah, that's
But
like, and
did you notice also that the guys shooting at them shoot for like a really long time after the gargoyles are clearly like not in their line of sight anymore? They just keep shooting to the empty elevator shaft.
I well, they went through some training. They've seen some shit. They're not taking any chances.
Like they don't have a commander there, I guess, to be like cease fire.
Yeah, no,
They're not. They're not there.
this is why when you're hiring like security personnel, you always need a, like a security captain or whatever they're called.
Yes, you always need a captain.
What
Absolutely.
are these guys even wearing? They look like they have like these weird like baggy jumpsuits, and they have
Yeah,
like
they look like maintenance guys to
yeah,
me,
they're
but I
wearing
guess
like
they're private
construction.
security. I don't know.
Look, I don't
They
know.
look weird.
I've never worked in cybersecurity, biotic, magic before, so it's like I can't say for sure what the ordinance is.
Broadway like punches through the floor and down into like the floor below them because they know they have to be down on that floor. And the three of them like jump down. There's a room like full of scientists. It
Yes,
looks there. They're like menacing music plays. The trio gets to be all scary. I like when the trio's allowed to be scary. I just
I
enjoy
I
that
don't know how
personally.
to feel about it.
Oh, it's great though. It's hot.
No, I guess. I don't know. It's just like with the trio, I can't really feel scared of them because they're like they're like they're too precious in my eyes
Oh,
for
like
that.
you know them as like those cute, friendly
Yeah.
fellas, but and also you're turned on by them probably.
Well,
But an
yeah.
ordinary person who sees them on the street, they might be frightened because they're monster people.
This is also why I specified the word jarring back in like our first episode, because when they were being all scary to the humans, I was like, oh my god, no, you guys are too precious. Look, I don't know. I'm a wimp, okay?
Well, it's because they're adorable gargoyles.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's like alarms blaring, cats and dogs living together.
And okay,
Um,
so Brooklyn approaches one of the scientists, and he hooks him up by the shirt collar, and then he just says in this really like menacing, and a bit articulate tone, he's just like, "Where's the disc?" And
yeah, the disc,
the disc.
not anything else. He says, "Where's the disc?"
Uh, for those of you who are listening and don't know, I did a little edit because when Brooklyn says this, he's very sharp with his K. So I did an edit where he says instead of "Where's the disc," he's like, "Where's the dick?"
Where's the dick?
Yes, okay, so this poor man who Brooklyn just chose to pick up and ask where the dick is, points at this computer bank, and then Lexington goes over there because he's already the computer guy. Um, and this part pisses me the hell off. Lexington just presses a random button, and the disc pops out of it.
It's an eject
Like,
button.
I fucking hate this show
It's an
sometimes.
eject
It's not any,
button.
it's It's just none of the buttons have any markings on them. Maybe it is an eject button.
Listen,
It looks like he's just like, well, let me just try and press this one, like the first one he tries works.
Look,
That's what it seems like to me.
I will go back and reanimate the show, and then on every single one of those buttons, I will put a different function.
Write something down on them. Ugh. Broadway pulls his second feat of strength for the episode. He grabs, what the hell, like a massive...
I don't know. What did I describe it as in my notes?
thing.
He picks up a ventilator shaft or some shit. I don't know.
I don't, like, it's some sort of mechanical
Look,
thing
whatever
in
he
the
does,
thing.
he picks it up, it smokes up the room.
It does. And there's also a hot flexing moment where he's picking it up.
Yeah,
like, you
there
get to see it.
is. There is. So it's like we're not even like a full like few minutes in, and we've already gotten like two really hot Broadway like using his strength moments.
Yeah, we've already been lusting after Broadway, like, a lot already.
I mean, he's
He
good.
he throws this thing out the window, which is last episode we went from them stealing a cart full of bread. Now they're committing like industrial terrorism here. It's just a growing...
Industrial terrorism.
This literally is because they came here. I mean, Xanatos sent them here to fuck up his competition.
When you said that, I got like the very vivid image of just like Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, just like on a chopper with like machine guns, and he's just like, because he's an industrial music artist.
Oh well, I mean, industrial terrorism and industrial music
Yeah,
are different.
Are they really though? That's the question.
I don't know.
Broadway helps them escape with his strength, and then they're flying off into the night with the disc, and they're all like, "Woohoo! We did it!"
I know. Like, this entire episode is animated like beautifully.
Yeah,
all the time.
the animation is
shots
really
of, like,
good.
of them all like having a little party in the air. Like Lexington has his arms wide. He's like, "Yay, we did the thing." It's really cute. As like gunfire continues to just like spray indiscriminately around them, like in the air, but they're not worried about that anymore because
Right.
they're out of there.
Yeah, of course. So, with that out of the way, we then cut to Hudson and Bronx going after Disc 2, and
I love
they're so they're great. So they're in some sort of like underground like subway or train system.
that. It looks like the sewers. Wait, is it supposed to be the? Oh yeah, because there's a subway train later on, so they must be in the subway.
Look, it's not clear,
Just
but they're
saying
definitely in some tunnel underground, and
they're under the city someplace.
and then he's like to Bronx, he's like, I'm still not sure. He's like, I'm still not sure how we got talked into doing this, and except he says it in a really hot tone of voice.
Oh my god! Well, what does he say that isn't in a really hot tone of voice?
Yeah,
though?
I know, but like in this particular line,
Um,
he's just like, you can hear like all the little like the manly gravel just in his voice.
I think I realized something as I was watching this part. Like, I've always thought, I think last episode we talked about how I sort of have always headcanoned Hudson as like a gross old man who's into like lots of like weird offbeat kinks and stuff. Like he'll do anything.
I do remember
Um,
you said that.
I think it's because of this episode where he's going through the sewers. I'm like, Goliath specifically chose him to go down there because he knew that Hudson probably like wouldn't mind it as much as the others would because he's just used to doing gross things already.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like that was where my head went.
I also think it's a bit funny how he's like, I'm not sure how he got talked into this, and he was just like boasting last episode how he doesn't need Bronx to accompany him because he can just handle whatever it is on his own. So it's just kind of like
He's got his street cred that he's got to maintain.
yeah. But so this guard guy on the security camera sees Hudson trying to break in through like the monitor, and then he's got like this horrified and shocked expression that is
Right. Okay. So before that, okay, Hudson sees a security camera, and he's all like, "Oh, that could be a problem." But then he like
he
gets
doesn't
this weird, like, big smirk on his
he
face.
does. I forgot
Like
about
he's
that.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this can factor into my plan, actually." So yeah, so then the guy like see, like, he just, like, goes up to this big metal door and just starts, like, I don't know, hitting it, I guess.
He's like trying to like pry it open with his
Yeah.
muscles.
But then he just turns around and there's, like, 50 guys behind him with like, these laser guns. These guys are sneaky. I don't know how they snuck up on him.
I don't
Um,
know.
this was also a part where we got a really good shot of his back muscles, though.
Yes, we
And
did.
I know that you noticed that.
Oh god, I did. He looks like
Um,
he's kind of shirtless from behind.
well,
Funnily enough.
I think the outfit he has on, I think it only does cover like his front and like his back is bare. I don't understand his outfit, but he looks naked when you look at him from behind.
Look, I can't understand the logistics of it, but I find it incredibly attractive. Which I
Yeah, I
guess
mean,
I could say
it
for
should
a
come
lot of
back to
things.
SNL today. I feel like he should bring it back.
Yes, yes. So, these guys shine lights and point guns at him,
Yeah,
and
they blind him with these lights, I guess. He's like, ah.
yes, and one guy is grinning and says, "I don't know what you are, but I'm betting you're not bulletproof." And then Hudson, just raises his muscled arms, and he's like kind of smirking, and he's just like, "Aye, that's a wager you'd win."
Okay, he doesn't just raise his arms though. Like he specifically shows them his armpits.
He does.
Like
You
he
see,
knows
you
that like
there's a good shot of his armpits. Yes.
and this is like a really good shot. Like I'm not normally that into armpits, but like the way he just sort of presents them, I don't know, man. Like I can see the appeal of just
It,
his strong arm just grabbing you like the back of your head and like forcing you into there.
hmm It's like I don't know. It's like it was like in like the first or second episode when I saw that barefoot Viking guy. It's just like
Oh my
you
god.
see like the bare part of a man's body, and just something in your brain just registers like, wow, that guy has he could. I can picture him naked right now.
I think that's why Hudson is like might be the hottest of all the gargoyles, because he's like actually wearing the most clothes, but still seems like very teasy about his body. Like he'll
Honestly.
present little bits of himself to you just because he knows it gets you going. Because he knows that normally like he dresses the most, so people are always wonder like, oh, I wonder what he looks like under that armor that he's got on.
There's a lot of hindering thoughts because of it. My only critique about the bare armpit shots, which there are quite a few in this sequence, but my only critique is that there's no armpit hair. But then again, it's like,
Yeah, I feel like he should have that.
yeah, like
Artists, if you're listening, draw Hudson with armpit hair, and we'll probably like it a lot.
yeah, like we need to see more gargoyles with I mean, if they can grow beards, obviously they can grow body hair and stuff. We
Exactly,
need to
yes.
see Lexington with chest scruff.
Oh my god, he'd be so cute with that. And like a little goatee.
Yeah, I think Monster Bulge drew this really nice art piece of Lexington with like body hair and stuff, and he looked really hot.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hudson is marched into this base, and this is his plan. Because he looked at the cameras and was like, I'll let them know I'm here, and they'll capture me, and they'll bring me into this place. Like,
It's kind of
so
a convoluted plan.
it's a shitty plan. Just like, why would he assume they would do this?
Like they would just like shoot him on sight, you would imagine, but for some reason they're like capturing him.
Yeah,
But
like they walk him in. They don't like restrain him in any way. Like he still has full use of his body. And apparently they don't do anything about Bronx
no,
because
the
Bronx just
Bronx is
jumps onto
hiding
the
off to the
side.
side.
Is that what he's doing? How did you
Okay,
see
okay,
that
okay,
though?
okay. So Hudson's plan was to let himself get captured, and when he's captured, Bronx surprises them.
Okay, because Bronx is such a good dog. You know
He
what this
is.
reminded me of though? It reminded me of that episode of The Last Airbender when Iroh gets captured while he's like taking a bath by the
Oh,
Earthbenders. Do you
that's
remember that? And like they tie him up and they put him over a horse and he's just wearing a loincloth the whole time.
no, but like that's all he has to wear because when they found him, he was just like completely just
Yes.
butt ass naked in the tub.
Uh-huh.
And
But
early,
like I got the same sort of vibe. Like because he seemed very like at ease with being captured. Like this is something that just happens to him all the time,
Well,
and
Iroh's
he
at
at
ease
the
with a
point of
lot
his
of
life where, like, he
things.
doesn't care anymore. So Hudson, like, it just sort of like gave me the same vibe. He's like, oh yeah, capture me.
There's definitely a correlation between with just beefy old guys and various animation, and just like they have those offhanded jokes in those episodes where it's just like, oh look, they're not wearing any clothes and they're old. That must be funny.
Yeah, it's funny if a man is naked.
And captured. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
Hudson's not naked in this particular instance, but no,
not this.
he gets guns pointed at him and he gets marched inside, and Bronx, according to his plan, like just sneak attacks him. And when this happens, Hudson begins fighting off the guards, and he picks one up over his head. And
Mhm.
I took a screenshot and I was just like, God, I wish that were me. And then he like throws
I
him
know.
onto the
I sort of.
pile. He throws them onto the pile of the other guards, and then they're just like in this just heaping pile on just like the railway ground or
Yeah.
whatever.
I
And
guess they can't just get up because they've been put in a pile, and as we all know, if you're put in a pile with other men, you just have to like sort of grind against them, and
yeah,
you're
like
trapped for a
that's it.
while.
You're pretty much out of the fight.
The leader of this base, I guess, to me, he looks like a sea captain.
He does.
Um, like he looks like the skipper from oh my god, from
Gilligan's
Green
Island.
Island. Yes, Gilligan's Island. Because he has the hat. He pulls his gun and he tries to shoot Bronx. But then Hudson like body checks him. We also see
Oh
Hudson's
yeah,
like at this point.
yeah, we do see.
Not that I was looking at that.
No,
Uh,
I paused a few frames. We do see like like we see his leggings under his loincloth because he does have
yeah,
leggings
but it
on.
doesn't. Just from the view, it's not apparent that they're pants. Like it looks like he's just naked.
No, that's the thing is because his leggings are the same color as like his like skin tone and stuff,
Yes,
which is
which gave me much confusion in my youth. I can assure you.
ah ha 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 ha. I'm sure you were the only one that ever felt that. So with that guy out for the count, like they're all like I guess off to the side now. Like in Bronx is like I don't know what he's doing. He's like he's got them in check, but like Hudson starts looking around for the floppy disk, and he doesn't really find it because there's just like so many buttons and numbers all over the place, and he gets so mad and frustrated that he can't find it that he just slams the table or whatever.
You know how upset I got when Lexington got the disc by just pressing a random button?
I
I get infuriated that Hudson got the disc by just banning this computer,
I
and
mean,
it just fucking pops out.
shit, I've gotten more out of a computer by banning it.
I get very upset at cartoons sometimes, guys. This is me right now.
So Hudson slams his fist on the table, and the floppy disk comes out, and then he does this little like he does this cute little like smirky facey once he sees it, and then he picks it up and he's like, yes, haha.
'Cause I get like them getting the disc like this makes it feel like this is still Thanatos' scheme, like he's making it purposely easy for them, but it isn't, because this is a separate company. This is just
Look,
Cyberbiotics having the worst security like of all time.
I feel that you're reading too much into the disc thing. I feel
I
that
am not. No. How dare you? Okay, but there's a really long chase sequence where Hudson is escaping the
no,
base.
but he's like a track star when he's doing this. He's like huffing,
He
he's like sprinting. Okay. So
is
anyways,
very
after he gets the disc, he tries to make a run for it. He barely gets through the door because the guard captain pushes a button to close it. And when he gets
yeah.
out to the other side of the door, he's just like I guess he lands on his butt cuz like we see him just on the ground, and he's just sitting on the ground, and he's like touching his lower back like he's in pain, and he's just like, I'm getting too old for this. Just like directly quoting was a Lethal Weapon.
I mean, I feel like every other one of Hudson's lines is some rendition of "I'm getting too old for this."
There's a lot of I'm getting too old at this scenes with
Just to
Hudson.
remind you that he's old, okay?
So yeah,
Um,
they hear machine guns firing, and then they have to escape via a ladder. And then as he's escaping, we get more shots of Hudson just like huffing and running like the track star he is as they're being chased by guards. And I'm glad that they acknowledged that despite, being a bit, on the heavier side, Hudson still, he's got like he's still a strong guy. He's still, somewhat
man.
he's like somewhat athletically inclined despite being on the heavy set side. They run through some system, I guess, and they find themselves in the subway, the train system, not the restaurant. And there's
system.
They're running through like the subway system, and I was just like, wait, no, this isn't the restaurant, this is the train system.
Is there a restaurant called the System?
Subway, eat fresh.
Oh. We're at least a sixth of the way through this already.
Not good enough. I want perfection.
I demand perfection. Yes. He, detaches a piece of railing that's there, and he jumps onto a subway car that's going by, and that takes him away from all the people with guns who are chasing him, and he escapes with Bronx. It's another triumphant escape.
They jump on a train, and they get away, and then they go outside, and then, in order to, escape, to get off the train, Hudson picks up Bronx, and then he glides to a nearby building. But when he lands on the building, he loses his balance, and both him and Bronx tumble over, and the next we see, Bronx is just, licking Hudson's face while Hudson's on the ground. He's like a very Scooby-Doo and Shaggy moment with them.
It's there to immediately show you that, okay, yeah, they just, flipped off a fucking building, but look, they're both okay.
And Hudson's all like, away with ye. And then he stands up, he's like, you need to be losing some weight, and that's a fact. And
yeah, it says the fat man.
I think, Bronx and him are both on the heavyset side, but carrying a gargoyle dog off a subway train after you just, run, 20 miles underground is probably not easy. Especially when you're, as old as Hudson is, I don't know, a few centuries.
However old he is.
He's old. That's his character. So...
And then he holds up the disc, he's like, I hope this wee thing will be worth the aches I'll be feeling later.
And you don't know if he's, referring to, is he gonna, be sore later from all the exercise, or is he gonna be sore after he does something later?
Oh, celebratory sex?
He's definitely gonna, jerk off in some way. Mm-hmm. Anywho, what happens next is, we finally get back to Demona and Goliath, who are on the airship. And
the only break-in that actually matters.
Yeah, the very plot heavy break-in. And then the scientists are in the room and they're like, we've already lost 2/3 of the data looking at the other places. And then
they can see the other stations that have been breached, as they say.
Yes, and then Goliath kicks down the door, and then Demona just comes and he's like, Ron, you've lost it all!
I love her voice so much, because she's so, take charge immediately. She's in the room, she's like, okay, you all belong to me now.
I love that. I love the...
And Goliath is, just her muscle in this scene.
Yes.
He just flares out his wings to intimidate them, and, tail snaps some people.
Yes.
He, lifts up the Admiral guy, and, Demona just needs to, sit back, admire that, and then gets to calmly walk over, and with one button press, she gets her disc. And she's the only one who I will allow to do that, because she's been in this time period before. She knows how computers work. She's allowed to do this.
Unfortunately, that whole calm mannerism you were just talking about doesn't last very long, because then she just starts ripping everything to fucking shreds in order to...
I think she looks around and she's like, wait, I could also kill all of these people, so let me also do that while I'm here.
She literally, with intent, rips into, the ship's controls and pulls out pipes and shit, and then everything just starts exploding, I guess. And then...
she takes out this, electrical cable that's, shooting out lightning bolts and, slams it into another of the computers and, sets everything on fire. And the expression on her face is, gleeful as she's doing this. She lives to break shit.
So
and to murder
I
humans.
gotta say this. I don't really have any sympathy for Demona in this episode. Last episode I was like, oh, Demona's pretty cool. This episode I'm just like, no, I can't fucking do this. I can't stand
Listen,
this. This is
Simona's a complicated person. Like, we understand her motivations, but that doesn't make them good motivations. Like, yeah, we're not supposed to empathize with her murdering a whole bunch of people just because she feels like it.
so Goliath sees her fucking doing this, and she sees her leaving. He's just like, wait, where are you going?
Yeah, she's just like, bye. And like, she opens the hatch. She's like, okay, see ya. Yeah, and he's all like, we can't just leave them here, but Demona just does not give a fuck. And she's like, no,
okay,
we're going.
Goliath is gonna, he wants to save them or do something. Like, he doesn't want to just leave these people here to die, but then Demona literally drags his ass, like the dom she is, out of the airship, and he's pretty much forced to leave as the airship fucking explodes and crashes into the goddamn harbor, and it's just like...
you just see like one turbine after another, like, bursting into flame.
It was pretty fucking, like, extreme. And
I mean, I don't think he could have done anything anyway. Like, he could have saved a couple people maybe by picking them up.
I don't...
But that's for,
You know what these two remind me of is, oh god, here come the Mass Effect references, but like...
Oh my god.
You know how, like, during a cutscene in Mass Effect, you get, like, the little, like... You either get the little command prompts to either trigger a Paragon or a Renegade action, like, to be good or evil. It's like...
Yeah, so this is Demona just full-on Renegade here, and Goliath is her poor Paragon, who's
yes!
like, no,
that is exactly the dynamic. Because... It reminds me so much of that.
Oh my god.
And
Mass Effect has recently come out, that remake, and it's also full of hot aliens. I don't know if we want to talk about Mass Effect now or later on.
We'll talk about Mass Effect. We'll talk about Mass Effect later on. I just want to get through the
Mass Effect.
I see what you did there.
Okay, but the entire airship crashes into the bay, and then Elisa's car like pulls up, and she's looking out, and she sees the two of them like flying away from all the destruction. And she's all like, Goliath?
Yeah, I like how she's like the only onlooker there too who like sees them.
Yeah, but she just found out that her new boyfriend is also an industrial terrorist. I just like that phrase. I'm gonna keep using it.
That's just the phrase of the day.
It's my phrase. Yeah. So they all go back to Castle Wyvern. They hand the disc over, and did you notice in this part that the disc has now become like comically large as Xanatos is holding it?
I did not. I don't know.
The disc is huge. It's like twice as big as his
You
hand.
are so focused on these discs.
Like, okay, I guess it's not like a floppy disk. I guess it's like a different.
No, but it is a floppy disk.
Well, it's not like a standard floppy disk. I mean, I don't. It's massive. I'm in love with this disc.
It's actually a dildo.
No.
Yeah,
it has information
that's why.
on it about making dildos.
That's why Xanatos is super happy, and he says it'll benefit humanity.
Yes, he says, you have my profound thanks. Rest assured that the knowledge on these discs will be put to beneficial use for humans and gargoyles alike.
Oh my god.
It sounds like a prepared line that he
It sounds like every billionaire nowadays. They're all like, oh, we're
Elon Musk.
Yeah, like, honestly.
And then he just, like, walks away after that. Like, no one says anything. They're like, okay.
Yeah, I like how, like, the rest of the crew is there, but none of them really have any need to like talk about plot, so they're just kind of standing in the background for the majority of these next few scenes.
Yeah, and then then we got into the start of the drama of this episode. Because Goliath is all like, I've got a date with somebody, like, I'm heading out. Demona's like, who is this now? Because you don't know anybody except us. If you do know somebody else, that means they're a human, and humans are bad. Like, did you forget this, Goliath? Did you forget that they killed all of us 1,000 years ago?
He pretty much says that he's gonna go hang out with a human friend, and then Demona gets, like, really territorial, and is...
Yeah, just possessive. Well, just Goliath is her man, and she's the dom of him.
Yes, she is. But it's almost in like an abusive kind of way because she's like, no, you're not allowed to see anyone. Xanatos is our only human friend.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think it sort of betrays her secret again, that she's been alive all this time and she hasn't been stoned, because she's had 1,000 years to like radicalize herself and into thinking that like all humans are terrible and that she hates all of them. Well, for Goliath, the tragedy was like a week ago. So like her reaction here is very alien to him, clearly, because it's so like it's different from how he remembers her acting.
Yeah,
And
like
the whole like thought process that she's using is like completely foreign to him too. He's like, "What are you even talking about?"
he literally
Like,
looks at her and he's like, you've changed, you've hardened over the years. You said I
oh my
changed,
god,
but it's really you.
like it
And
was such a good line.
it was. I kind of botched it. I think I just like I tried to ad
No,
lib
you
it.
got it almost 100% correct.
Okay.
You said the centuries have changed me. They've changed me
It's
too.
kind of
You've become
freaky.
hard, unforgiving. You are not as I remember you. I'm going to see my friend now.
It's kind of freaky because it's like he's looking at this person that was so close to him once, and it's like he doesn't even recognize her anymore because of how pretty much how insane she's gotten.
Yeah, and like I mean, I think it's he just saw her commit an act that was like unthinkable to him, and now
Yeah.
she's still like standing here in front of him, like trying to like act as if everything's normal, like this is still like the same relationship they've always had. And like to me this is like the breakup moment, because he does like look her in
Yeah.
the face, and it seems like he fully recognizes like what she is now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before he gets there, we actually see that Xanatos is again just watching all of this like a creeper, and he says to Owen, "Oh, Goliath is too hard to control. A pity," which is like, I'll get into this a little bit later on, but he's acting like Goliath's some like out of control animal when like all he's doing is just heading out to like see somebody. He's not taking direct action against Xanatos yet, or like anything like that, but whatever. I guess if they can't control Goliath's every move, then he's just some renegade they have to put down.
That's really the problem with Xanatos is that he prefers to be an individual that's in control of everything around him, and he doesn't really see. We begin to realize that he doesn't see the gargoyles as anything else other than another pawn for him to try and use for his own schemes.
It seems like he just views them as like a toy for himself to use
That's
as he will, and if they act on their own, that's like no good for him.
Yeah, it's almost like he's a rich asshole who likes to play God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Elisa confronts Goliath, saying that there are cyberbiotics facilities being broken into, and
Yes, by monster-like people. And then she also says that she saw him and Demona leaving the crash.
well, she doesn't know who
Oh.
Demona is yet.
Yeah, but she saw Goliath and another gargoyle.
Hmm.
And then he tells her that they were retrieving property that had been stolen from Xanatos. Then she drops a bombshell on him. She's tracked down the logo on that tracer that was on Goliath's ass in that other episode.
Yeah.
And the logo is from one of Xanatos' companies. So he's all like, "Are you saying Xanatos was responsible for the attack in the park?" And she's like, "Yes, and he probably planted it on you himself," which confirms my theory that it was an ass pat that Xanatos just put there.
Mm-hmm.
So they just sort of go through like what has happened. Basically, Xanatos staged that attack on his castle in order to trick Goliath and the other gargoyles into stealing these other discs from Cyberbiotics, who are a rival company to him. So Goliath's just been betrayed by human again, basically.
Yeah, it's a very, hard reveal because it's like the past 4 episodes we get, this weird development, but also the inclination of manipulation between Xanatos and the Gargoyles. And now it's all pretty much revealed out in the open thanks to Elisa and her wondrous meddling. And,
yes.
That pretty much Xanatos has been manipulating the Gargoyles in order to steal from other companies and benefit himself. And the SWAT team was on his payroll or whatever. I don't even know. But
They must have been. But okay, so then she's all like, "Listen, Goliath, I know we haven't known each other for very long, and I know you don't have any good reason to trust humans." And he like looks away from her, like, "Oh, I can't." And then I know you noticed this too. She reaches out and like touches his face and like turns him back to like facing her again.
She has her hands on his face, and it is very adorable.
Like, it's too much for me. They're so physical, like right off the bat with each other.
Yeah, well, that's because they're in love.
They are in love, and then she tells him, "But you've got to trust somebody in this world, and I think you're better off with me than Xanatos."
Which is true.
Which is true. Then there's this insane transition where we just see Xanatos' eyes, and then like rest of his face comes out of shadow.
Yeah, it was a cool transition. Yeah,
I like when they experiment a little bit, where they stretch their wings. These animators.
That's funny.
Okay, but he and Owen are standing in front of these 5 like gargoyle-like figures that have sheets draped over them, and they're just talking between themselves. He's saying, like, more of the what their last conversation was about. He's saying he can't count on the gargoyles' loyalty anymore, but now he has these replacements for them. And he also says that that's what he needed the discs for. I guess the information on the disc was related to robotics and like...
I didn't catch that.
Well, this is just what I'm piecing together. It seems a little far-fetched to me, but this is what he tells us.
He needed the gargoyles' help in order to assist him in creating these artificial, like, gargoyles for him, because apparently now he can't seem to depend on the gargoyles, and I guess this is a good plan B in case that didn't work out. I don't know. It's
he has his own gargoyles.
Yeah.
And Owen is like, okay, so it's 3 hours until dawn. We just wait until they're asleep, and then Demona just like I guess she was there too. She just appears out of the shadows, and she's like, "No, you need to test these replacements. Do you not?"
Oh god!
And then she like sensually strokes.
I noticed that
sheets. That's like over a hunky metal chest, and she and Xanatos share this like really evil look together.
See.
Which I just enjoy.
So it's like it's around here I start to really just get all the bad vibes with Demona, because it's just like she's encouraging now not only the destruction, the blah blah blah, not only the destruction of Goliath, but like the whole clan, because Goliath won't accept her and her radicalist ways.
Okay, that is true that she's doing that. However, I have an alternate reading for you.
Oh dear.
Owen was just trying to destroy them when they fell asleep, but Demona chose to step in, and now she's advocating for like a more direct attack on them now. But that also gives Goliath and the others like a fighting chance to beat them. I think in her own way, she's actually trying to like still protect them too. I feel like.
I suppose, but like. The next scene where we see Brooklyn, Broadway, and Lexington all up on the tower and just kind of hanging out. Brooklyn's got on these sunglasses. I guess he just has now, and he does look pretty cool in them. And of course, Broadway's...
He looks like a fuckboy in them.
He looks pretty cool in them. I'll repeat. And Broadway is fucking eating again. He's got like this whole like buffet. He's got this whole table and buffet of snacks in front of him.
Okay, but Lexington got his hands on a laptop though, and he's like typing on it with like one finger. It's really cute looking.
He's discovering porn for the first time.
He probably went on for Affinity and was like, "Wow, there's all kinds of stuff here."
So they're all enjoying themselves when suddenly, while Broadway's eating, one of the food in his hand gets like blown to bits by one of the cybernetic gargoyles that were under the sheets. And now
this laser blast comes out.
And now we have like I think 5 or 6 of them like coming out and flying after our boyos. And
yeah, so Xanatos, Owen, and Demona, and then 5 robot gargoyles are there. They all look like Goliath. Robot Goliath.
That's because why do you think Xanatos was touching Goliath so much? He needed
he had to take his measurements for his robot.
His exact body model. He's
got to make sure that robotic dicks on these things have the exact same proportions as Goliath's dick.
That's
all the same measurements, all the same heft to them.
the
It's just
reason.
important shit.
The reason he got so intimate with Goliath and kept touching him and stuff is just so he could familiarize with his body in order to create his own robot gargoyle sex slaves.
Yes. They have all the same properties as the other gargoyles, but they have like retractable dildos on like every limb.
Yes. And every limb.
All of the limbs.
Every limb, they like a dildo just shoots out.
Yes, just like they shoot the lasers.
And Xanatos has himself set up on like a bullseye across the castle. He's like, yes,
Oh
good.
my
Shoot.
god.
Look, you're the one who said that they shoot
No.
dildos, okay? Out the limbs.
I did say this. This is what I have this coming. But so yeah, the robots they all go to attack the trio. Lex like scrambles for cover. Broadway gets clipped by a shot, and he like hangs onto a wall. But then like a brick in the wall is loose, and he falls down to the battlement and like crashes down. It's not his finest moment. He does look super hot as he goes like all groggy, like and like slumps down.
He's like trying to get back up, but he's like too weak at this point. And
yeah, just he fell.
And then I believe
Muscles.
what happens next is I think Lexington gets clipped by one of the robots
Yeah, Lex
as
is
well.
trying to fly away, but one of the Steel Clan, as we call them, is following him. And Xanatos is giving like a tech demo as this is happening. He's all like, "What did I tell you, Owen? A vast improvement. They're steel instead of stone. They don't sleep during the day. They can fly instead of glide. And best of all, they're 100% obedient. And they shoot dildos out of every limb."
Damn it. I'm not gonna be able to get over this. So
Lex gets lasered in midair. Brooklyn like manages to catch him before he falls down and becomes street pizza on the road below.
yeah, Brooklyn really pulls his weight near the end of the episode. Honestly,
Brooklyn does a really good job in this whole fight.
He doesn't. He's an MVP.
Yeah, so he's just trying to carry Lex like to safety, but it's really difficult for him because like carrying another gargoyle flying yourself is tough.
And he's about to get shot by like one of the robots, but then Goliath comes in and pretty much just like demolishes it by colliding into it and throwing it in, like, I guess slamming it against the wall, and it explodes.
He's such a boss. Yeah.
He is.
And then he flies over to Brooklyn. He's like, "Give him to me." So Brooke drops Lexington into Goliath's like big, strong arms.
Lexington's having some good dreams right then and there.
Oh my god! I bet Lexington will be sad that he was unconscious for this because he missed out.
His gargoyle daddy.
So Goliath goes. He like leaves Lexington by Broadway.
Yeah.
So they can cuddle together while they're unconscious.
Yeah, no, of course. And of course, not so they can just stay out of the line of fire or anything. They just need to, just get like cozy with each other.
Yeah, he drapes them over each other.
It's like when a dad puts his kids to bed, but both the kids are like unconscious and have head damage because robots.
Yes.
Which I have to reiterate how pissy I am that Demona just stands by while these boys are getting shot at.
Well, they had their chance. Goliath could have been like, "No, okay, you're right, Demona. I don't have any other friends. There's only you."
I don't think that justifies it.
So Hudson comes out with Bronze, and he's like, "What the fuck is happening out here?"
Honestly.
So they join the fight. Bronze, he jumps up, he grabs one of the robots by the tail, and like drags it out of the air. The robot's trying to shoot Bronze, but like the dog has some mad dodging skills. He's dancing all around. Then Hudson fucking jumps down and slices this robot.
Yeah,
with his
he does
sword.
like a whole war cry and everything. He just fucking annihilates this robot.
I just like when he's allowed to use his sword on people. It's like Wolverine from the X-Men with his claws. Like he's only allowed to use them on robots.
Yeah.
In the cartoon shows. So I like when they get to fight robots.
Yeah.
Because Hudson gets to be awesome and use his sword on people.
Yeah.
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 Goliath like mounts one of the other robots and like steers it into another one, so they crash into each other. The animation is like outstanding on this whole fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really good.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But when that happens, this is the funniest part of the episode. Demona, Xanatos, and Owen are like standing like on the battlements, and they just fucking sprayed with like robot parts that fall all over them, and they have to like run away, shielding their heads. I just always laugh at that part.
God, Owen looked. Did you notice like Owen looks so gay as he's trying to like cover himself from like the boulders?
He does have the gay mannerism.
He's very gaily running away.
He's like, no, don't spray me.
Hold
Only
on.
Mr. Xanatos is allowed to do that.
Hold on, there's like this video I saw. It's titled "Does a Gay Little Run That Pisses You Off," and that's what he did.
Nice. Oh, how do I get back to look at it? Oh my god.
You click the Discord icon.
This is from Persona.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not trying to watch it.
I've never played Persona. I just like the video title.
So, like, they see the robots are losing, and Xanatos is all like, I guess we have to take care of this ourselves. You know, get their own hands dirty.
Oh, we forgot, there were some really good shots during the fights where we saw, like, there's that shot of Brooklyn climbing up the wall, like, towards, like that
opening.
Towards the camera or whatever, like just that shot. Where he's coming towards you. And then we also get a really interesting shot of Goliath. His pecs are very defined, very detailed. We still have to play that game where I just like post screenshots of his pecs, and then we have to guess his mood based on his pec formation. But
I feel like most of the moods would just be angry though, because he's usually angry.
Well, that's what makes the game so fun. But he does look a bit on the heavy-set side in a few of these particular frames. I just think it's interesting that he's like this super buff gargoyle dude, but you know, it's like none of them really have like rock hard abs or anything like that.
Well, they are rock hard during the day though.
No, I don't know what that reaction was, but it was a reaction.
Sounded like you got sick and threw up a little bit in your mouth.
Yeah, I threw up because I'm like, ugh, rock hard men, gross.
So there's one Steel Clan bot left. It tries to kill Let's and Broadway, but like they just woke up right in time to dodge the fucking laser bolt. Goliath and Brooklyn work together. They push a wall, like a stone wall, off the tower they're on, and it falls on the robot, and the robot explodes. So all the Steel Clan are dead. And then Hudson has a nice scene where he's like, and they say the Middle Ages were barbaric. Which is like, oh, nice. And then Brooklyn's
Another
like, we
boomer
won, dude! And Goliath says, dude. So then Demona comes out, and like, this is like the same entrance she made last time. She says, you haven't won anything, fools. Like, she just has to, like, come in like a badass and be like, actually, you're full of shit, and I'm here to fuck you up.
She's got, like, a rocket launcher laser rifle or something?
A bazooka, rocket, I don't know what her weapon is. I know that I love it.
She's been rejected by her man, you know, she's going through a breakup, and she's just coping with it by trying to kill all her gargoyle family. It's fine.
Yeah, she copes with it, you know, the way she always does.
Yeah.
But, like, this is the definitive, like, Demona sight to me. It's just like her with her fucking bazooka, ready to fuck shit up. You know, she's a girl boss.
She's an MVP, girl boss, yeah.
And Xanatos is here too, but he doesn't matter.
He gets like knocked out, I think. Like
so, like, she doesn't even try to talk to them or anything at first. She immediately just fires at Goliath and Brooklyn, and they have to jump off the tower they're on.
Oh my god!
Which does explode to avoid being hit by this rocket. This is also the part where Brooklyn lands, like, literally on his face down in the courtyard, which definitely gave his entire clan, like, a view of his, like, open butthole.
I did not catch that.
Okay, if you look at their faces and where they're looking, and the expressions they have on, it definitely seems like they're like, oh my god, is Brooklyn's butthole in front of us? It's... I'm not crazy.
No, I don't think you are. Look, okay, if someone's If there was a butt and it was exposed, it's you. It's if anyone's gonna know about it, it's you. So
Thank you. Yes, I am the expert on this.
you are.
But Goliath lands closer to Demona, and he's all like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That's a valid question.
Yeah, like for real. The other Gargoyles, like they're moving like they're trying to help, but Xanatos is like, "Hold it. Let's just let them play out their little drama, shall we?" And for some reason, they listen to him. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Doesn't he have like a gun?
He does have a gun,
But that doesn't stop them from fighting the other guys with guns, and they're like a whole clan.
Yeah, but they listen to Xanatos. Okay, so Demona tells Goliath, she says, "You were a fool, but then you always were one, weren't you? If you'd only taken the rest of our clan away from the castle that night, the plan was perfect." And Goliath's like, "Plan?" And then Demona basically reveals that she had made a bargain with the captain of the guard, the J captain of the guard.
Yeah, the one without the name.
Yes. She was going to have all the Gargoyles leave the castle and go with Goliath that time when he and Hudson went to investigate the Vikings. And then the Vikings would attack, take all the humans away, and then the Gargoyles would be left with the castle like themselves. Like they would have it all to themselves. And they don't have to deal with racist-ass humans anymore.
Look.
But it didn't work, and she blames Goliath for this because he left all the Gargoyles there at the castle instead, and then they all got destroyed by the Vikings.
Look, I'm not saying it was a stupid plan, but
it was a stupid plan.
It was a very stupid
plan.
But this also
worse than Hudson's plan early in this episode. Gargoyles cannot make plans.
Well, the thing is, Hudson's plan actually worked, and it was very minimal in comparison to this.
But it shouldn't have.
And
yeah, it was more minimal. There were fewer things that could go wrong in Hudson's plan.
So,
whereas in Demona's plan, like any step of the way, I feel like it could just get fucked up, which it did.
Oh yeah, no, and this also ties into what I was saying in our first episode, was that, like, Demona and the guard captain were, like, broing out and talking about, like, Goliath and how hot he was behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were too busy talking about how hot Goliath is, and not busy enough coming up with a plan that made sense.
Exactly. So, Goliath...
This is what happens when you're just too horny.
So, Goliath is rightfully appalled by this reveal, and... he pretty much...
Yeah,
what does he do?
Like, well, there's a lot. Okay, he says, she blames him for the plan doing wrong, and he's just like, but it's your fucking fault, though, because your plan sucked ass. Like, and she's like, how dare you?
He's right, though. Not only that, but she's, like, trying to victim blame in order to try and, like, guilt him into it. And
she really is.
It's not okay. Goliath does the right thing and is, like, disputing that. I'm like, no, okay, that's a bit crazy. You're the crazy one.
Yeah, so, like, he delivers, like, another, like, coda of the series, basically. He says, there is good and evil in all of us, human and Gargoyle alike. You should know that more than anyone. Don't you see? None of this would have happened if it weren't for you. Which, like, is, like, the worst thing to say to Demona, because she spent all this time, like, rejecting that and building up this whole fantasy version of what had happened where she isn't at fault. Because if she faces that she is at fault, like, her entire world will break.
Yeah. Of course, Goliath isn't registering that in the moment.
No, yeah, because he doesn't know what she has been through. And so she's like, Goliath, this is your last chance. Humanity is a poison that must be purged from this planet. Together, you and I can create a new world for our kind. You trusted me once, you loved me once. We found each other again for 1,000 years of solitude. Does that mean nothing to you?
And then he starts to cry and he just doesn't even answer.
He literally does cry, though.
I know.
Like, tears come from his eyes. And, like, I hate this, because this is what he wants. Like, he wants nothing more than to live happily with Demona. And, yeah, like, start a new life, start a family, do something. I mean, I guess her plan is just to, like, be the new Adam and Eve of Gargoyle kind and, like, repopulate the species, which I don't know how likely that is to happen.
It's like what Goliath said earlier in the episode. He's like, I cannot make war upon an entire world, which is, like, rightfully sane of him to say. You can't do that.
Yeah, like, there's only so much, like, any individual can do. Like Demona brings up, like, reparations that, like, the humans, like, owe them stuff, and he's like, the people who did that to us have been dead like 1,000 years. And she's like, well, their descendants should pay them, which, like, I understand where she's coming from, but Goliath is like, this is too much for me right now. Like, I cannot wage war on a whole fucking planet. Like, there's only 5 of us left. Make your expectations more realistic, Demona.
Yeah.
So like, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't reply to her right now because it's like he wants this, but she's crazy.
She's
and like
crazy.
He knows this, and he can't keep doing this with her because he can see immediately where it's going to lead, and he can't drag the rest of his plan in on this either. Like, they're just kids and a hot old man.
Yeah,
like it can't happen.
No.
So she does interpret what his silence means, though, as a rejection.
Which it is.
Says, very well, then. If you are not my ally, then you are my enemy. And she fires her fucking bazooka at him. Like, she's full, like, if you're not with me, you're against me, and I'm gonna kill you then. Because people who are against me tend to die.
Yeah.
So he is, like, thrown by the explosion. I am just recapping the entire conversation, but it's because it's that good.
Yeah, you need to.
And she goes up to him and she says, I have a name too, Goliath. The humans gave it to me long ago. You should know it before you die. I am Demona. Which is the first time we hear her name.
It's funny that they wait till the last minute, which, I mean, it's valid, but still.
It's so good. Have I mentioned that Demona is voiced by Marina Sirtis, who also plays Counselor Troy on Star Trek The Next Generation?
You have.
You have. I don't know if I have in the podcast, but there it is. I love her so much.
Yeah, no, you mentioned it, and it's valid because she's awesome.
I'm glad. She steps on his groin, I'm thinking, and she levels the bazooka at his chest. And Goliath has his expression on his face, like every sub who's realized he really needs a safe word right now has had. Then Elisa comes and she fucking body checks Demona. There's so much tackling in this episode.
Yeah, like, she literally saves Goliath's ass, but, like, then again,
she does.
Like, then the parts of the castle start falling apart again.
Yeah, because the bazooka still goes off, and, like, it hits the tower, and the tower, like, fucking falls. Xanatos gets hit in the head by a rock. Not that, like, he matters right now.
Yeah.
But, like, the tower, like, hits the battlement where everyone is, and then Demona and Elisa are both falling. This is the second time Elisa's fallen off this fucking castle. And so Goliath, like, immediately... Yeah, like you said earlier, there doesn't seem like there's a choice involved here. Like, he immediately just goes for Elisa.
Yeah, we see both shots of Demona and Elisa falling, and Goliath immediately swoops in and saves Elisa. And Demona he watches down as, like, Demona falls and can't be seen anymore.
Yeah, and, like, he doesn't fly, like, he has put Elisa back on the ground now. Like, he could fly after her, after Demona, that is, but instead he just, like, wails a lot in emotion, because Goliath's just a very emotional person. And as he just assumes that Demona's died from this fall, although I don't know why, because she does have a wing.
It's not even...
She can just recover from the fall.
It's not just that. There's a lot at stake there emotionally, considering the woman he loved most in the world has pretty much damned his entire, like, clan and his kind, and continues to do so. And there's also the conflict of he has to now watch her fall into the abyss, much like he watched, like, the people who he originally thought were the only ones responsible. And, it's just like back then when he said, I've been denied everything, even my revenge. Now it cuts him even more hardcore. There's a lot of angst there.
It's like every time it's like he can't lose anything else, they find something else to make him lose. He's lost Demona twice now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, he has a lot of feelings.
Oh, yeah. And then,
which he then displays by grabbing Xanatos and holding him, like, over the edge of the castle and being like, she wanted me to destroy humanity. I think I'll start with you!
And then...
which definitely gives Xanatos a massive boner as he's being held.
And Xanatos is just fucking smiling as he's being held, like, on the brink of death. And he's just like, go ahead. Without me, you'd still be gathering moss. And then he does his little smile.
I know, like, he wants Goliath to put him in his place. He's like, "Go ahead, Big Daddy. Like, show me what you got."
Like, he doesn't give a fuck. And it's like, Elisa goes up to him, and she's like, no, if you do this, you're no better than her. Is this really what you want?
She says, if you do, you're the same as Demona. Which, like, I disagree with that, because Demona wants to kill all humans, like, regardless of what each human has individually done.
Listen, Elisa...
Goliath wants to kill Xanatos, because he has personally done some shady shit to him.
Listen,
there's a difference here.
Listen, Elisa saw the Paragon prompt and went for it.
It was the wrong prompt in this case, but
it's
far
like,
be it from me.
It's like on the loyalty mission in Mass Effect with Garrus, where he wants to take revenge on the guy who got his entire squad killed, and you're playing as like Paragon, FemShep, and you're trying to like convince him not to do it over the radio, and you have to have enough Paragon points in order to properly save this dude's life, even though he definitely fucking deserves to die.
Well, which option leads you into the sex scene with Garrus later?
Either one.
Which option?
Either one. But you have to have like enough Paragon check if you want to save that dude's life. And there was something that was going to be implemented in Mass Effect 3 that really pissed me off. I'm sorry, I'm just going to rant about Mass Effect because I feel like it.
Well, let's talk about Mass Effect. I hear that Krogans have 4 balls. Is that true?
No, they call them quads.
Oh.
There's several jokes in the game, in some of the games, where it's like, how about you get a good old kick in the quads? And I remember in Mass Effect 1, when Garrus is recounting the time that he had a case where he had to follow some crazy surgeon guy who was experimenting on people. He said that, like, all the evidence was wiped clean. Not a single Krogan testicle was there.
What?
And you get the option to be like, what? Krogan testicles? Why would anyone want that?
People are into that.
They are. But yeah, no, there's a lot going on with Mass Effect. But pretty much, the situation with Elisa and Goliath and Xanatos right now is similar
it's
to...
identical to that.
Exactly identical with, like, Shepard and Garrus, and I guess the guy's name was Sidonis or something. There was this, which brings me back to my initial point. There was this plot device. Yeah, you can just ignore all of this. It's just me talking about Mass Effect for like over 5 minutes, I counted. So I just sped it up, and now you get the immersion of how long I talked without actually hearing the conversation. Alright, well, thank you. And I am going to ramble about Mass Effect for a bit more, but this time it's actually pertinent to the topic of the podcast, which includes LGBT representation in media. So if you're mainly here for us talking about Gargoyles, then skip to the hour and 15-minute mark. Oh god. I might have to cut this all out because I definitely sidetracked away from Gargoyles for a good few minutes there, but... It's
okay. I mean, Mass Effect, Hot Aliens, is still on topic for us, and especially Krogans and their 4 balls.
Yes, exactly. I'm still super salty. I have such a love-hate relationship with Mass Effect, because it's like, I love the characters, I love the games, I just hate the devs.
Yeah, they seem to be, they take missteps every so often.
Yeah, they do.
And Andromeda wasn't so hot either, from what I hear.
Well, Andromeda was really when the controversy came into limelight in the Mass Effect fandom. Of course, people who weren't in it weren't as aware, but, like, with Mass Effect Andromeda, when it came out in 2017, the romances were leaked, and we found out that gay men could finally romance a male alien character in your squad. Which we were just like, oh, hell yes, making up for, the problems in the past.
Wait, that hadn't happened in any of the main 3 games?
Nope.
Oh my god. But could you romance a human? Was it Kaiden?
Not until Mass Effect 3.
I wouldn't want to
he's a very bland romance in general.
I want one of the hot aliens.
Yeah. No, but when Mass Effect Andromeda came out, for some reason, it was discovered that they had cut the male romance with that particular alien squad mate, and then there was a whole movement on Twitter where pretty much all the gays in the Mass Effect fandom rounded up. They made a hashtag because the alien's name was Jaal. It was like hashtag make Jaal bi because he was supposed to be. He was written that way, and you could see it in his character. You know, he's a very fluid character emotionally. He's a bit annoying, but, you know, we really just wanted, like, an alien squad mate. We wanted to show that that's what we wanted. We didn't want any bland human romances, or token gay romances, or whatever. And eventually, you know, after a few months of the devs giving us silence and just saying, we're listening, and nothing else, they released a patch that gave us a full-fledged romance with that character, and finally let, you know, the gays have an alien squad mate.
That's really, really incredible, though. Like, I can't think of any times where a fan response has led to devs, like, actually patching something like that into a game.
Oh, it was very, like, I saw it as something that was really just revolutionary, because, like, a lot of the people who I kind of made friends with along the way in the hashtag were not expecting it at all. Like, there was over time they just began to lose hope. But let's see, the game released in March, and it wasn't until June that we finally got that patch in. It was actually the final patch because they said they didn't want to do any more updates for the game because it didn't make enough money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was,
well,
and
you know, it should have been there from the beginning, but I'm glad they added in.
Yes.
Afterward.
Yes. And God, this is kind of why I had like a little like linger of hope that they would make the Legendary Edition remaster gayer.
Wasn't Garrus also originally like supposed to be bi or something?
I mean, not necessarily.
Were there other bisexual romances that were meant to be there?
Yes, there were. Kaidan was cut in Mass Effect 1. The voice lines are still there, and you can download a mod for that, but it doesn't import well to the other games. And Thane, who is like alien assassin, was supposed to be bi in Mass Effect 2. Unfortunately, he's also the only squad mate you get in the games that is like canonically like dying because he has a disease.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very sad, but he's also a badass. But I do recall that Garrus's voice actor and the voice actor for Male Shepherd were more than okay with the possibility of having their characters, you know, being a gay romance. Unfortunately, that just didn't seem like a thing that the devs wanted to implement at the time. And I'm sure they know better and they've learned better for it now, especially with how Andromeda and that patch turned out.
I think that they've said on the record that like didn't like Fox News report something about Mass Effect that like made them sort of backpedal a lot of the decisions they had been making?
Yes, there was. There was a lot
I don't know how much truth there is in that.
I don't know if it had an effect in their decision making or not. There's no proof for that. But in 2007, I believe, when Mass Effect 1 came out, there was controversy about the sex scenes. Not just the fact that it was with aliens, but just like the nudity in video games. It was like a hot topic because there was just an era where news stations were targeting video games as like being a bad influence on the youth or whatever. And of course, a game with sex in it was like, oh my god, why?
Oh god. Shooting people's heads off is one thing, but characters making love to each other? No!
Yeah. And it's like, the sex scenes aren't even like... I mean, you play Dragon Age. They're kind of like that.
They're very... Okay, in Dragon Age, yeah, like, you see the character, like, in a bikini, and then there's sort of a fade out, and
yeah,
you imagine what happens. I mean, in Dragon Age Origins, at least.
Yeah.
Inquisition gave us a bit more meat.
I also noticed that in the first game... And or at least the first game, they're very biased to the very sexualized race of blue alien women. Like, there's no men or anything.
Yeah, there's male gays throughout the entire game, from what I remember.
Like, there's a whole species of blue alien women that are all, like, you know, they procreate with anyone regardless of gender, and they're all pansexual, and yada yada.
They all just happen to look female to us.
Yeah, exactly.
They're coded as female, like, body-wise and everything.
I suppose. And it's like they
which
all
is
identify as female, and it's like it's just very strange. But I also noticed that when you romance that particular squad mate who happens to be that alien, you also get the most nudity in the sex scenes. Like you definitely like
interesting.
I romance Liara in pretty much every playthrough Mass Effect 1 because I like her and FemShep together. I like their dynamic, even though I usually just go for Garrus in Mass Effect 2. Um, because it's like I don't know. I like Liara as a character. I just think her race is just like written in a male gaze. But like, no, you definitely see like her butt and her boobies.
Well, you know, naked blue woman was a thing back then. 'Cause I remember when the X-Men movies were coming out, we saw Mystique naked in them like all the time too.
Yeah, that was definitely.
There was just a thing for naked blue ladies, and Zan from Farscape.
I feel like those two were somewhat of an influence on the Asari.
Hmm,
Yes.
I can see that.
We should probably get back to Gargoyles.
Okay, what was happening in Gargoyles?
No.
Oh right, Elisa's all like, "Don't kill him." So eventually Goliath is like, "Fine," and he throws Xanatos like on the fucking floor, just fuck Xanatos. And then we just sort of like scene cut to Xanatos getting arrested. It looks like down on the street. He's being put into a police car. And it's not clear at this point what the charges are. They probably tell us later.
Yeah, they probably do.
Like, is it like stealing from this other company?
Yeah, it's got to be
is it just raining stone chunks down the streets again? We don't know exactly.
The suspicion of theft involved with like the other
I'm
the
assuming
cyber biotic crypto places.
We go back up to the castle. And we see Hudson and Elisa there, and they're sort of like acting as Goliath's conscience. And Hudson is like, "You did the right thing, lad." At first, I thought he meant about Xanatos, but then Goliath's next line is, "Do you think she survived?" And Hudson says, "If she did, we'll know soon enough, I imagine."
Which is true.
Yes, I mean, spoiler alert, but we're going to see her back again pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good, because we love Demona. Okay, then we're almost at the end of this episode. There's a funny bit where Bronx, like, brings Brooklyn his sunglasses, and Brooklyn's like, "Cool," he puts them back on, but then, like, all the glass falls out of them, because there was a fucking massive-ass fight up here. And then and then Broadway is all like, "Oh, I'm hungry again," and Lex is like, "You just ate." And Broadway says, "Yeah, Chinese food. It doesn't fill you up, haha." Like, yeah, New York City jokes. Very funny, very amusing.
Yes. I should know, having lived in New York when I was like 6 years old.
New York. And then up above, Goliath and Elise are having one final moment before the sun comes up. He's saying to her, "It's nice to know I have at least one human friend in this new world." And then she says, "I hope you have more, lots more, but whether you do or not, I'll always be your friend, Goliath." Meanwhile, they're making like serious eye contact with each other, and Goliath is looking super hot. Like, I noticed the animation was like really good on him here. Like, he is showing a lot of musculature on his chest. He's like flexing his arms. And then she says, "Same time tomorrow night?" He says yes, and then she says, "Good, maybe we'll catch a Giants game." Giants? I love this kind of humor, but I also hate it because it's just like fish out of water.
It's funny to me. I don't know. Like, he just turns and he's like, "Giants?" right before he turns to stone.
Yes, and his expression is caught in that surprise face, which they use this episode ending numerous times throughout the show. Like, something funny happens, and then the sun comes up right then.
Oh gosh,
the fastest sunrises in the universe.
Imagine having like a routine where something funny happens to like start or end the show. That's pretty tacky, don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah. So that was Awakening.
Oh, it's finally over. So yeah, so everything's established. The status quo is there. The Gargoyles are just in this awesome fucking castle, and Xanatos is in prison. And yeah, it's great.
For now.
No, what do you mean for now? This is how it's going to be.
For now.
They live here now.
Yeah.
It's great.
For now. Oh god. So, a lot to dissect. But, to start things off, after we have finally finished Awakening, what would you rate this particular episode?
I would give this another, it would be a 5, but there wasn't any gay stuff, so I would say it's like a 4.8. Very, very strong episode. The animation was like A plus throughout the whole thing. Like every fight scene, beautiful. Like all the characters had so much expression to them with every motion they made.
Yes.
Like really, really good.
Yes.
Character stuff at the end was like so emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
I think I would actually give this a 5 out of 5.
We have a rule, I thought, that is only a 5 if there's gay stuff.
I'm sorry, did you not see Hudson strutting his armpits and run around the sewers? I was very
like, oh yeah, take me prisoner, officer. Mm-hmm.
I was very fixative on all those good old Hudson moments. And I guess like the brief moments where Broadway was like, using his strength at the beginning.
Those were very good.
Yes.
I guess that leads into our other segment. So what's the horniest moment of this episode? When were the animators the most horny drawing these pictures?
Pretty much the whole scene where Hudson gets captured and escapes.
That was okay. I can see that with he kept lifting men over his head and like showing his armpits.
Yeah, I got a hankering for armpits myself.
I got a hankering.
I don't know. It's just like when I see strong guys just kind of like lift up their arms casually and they got their muscles and everything. I'm just like, oh man, yeah, no, that's their skin. That's their
Yeah. The skin that you don't normally see.
The skin, the joints that connect the muscles to the rest of that body, and it's bare before my eyes.
Okay, I can see that. I don't know what my horny is. Like, I don't feel like there was really much horny content in this episode. Hudson's armpits is on my list. The part where Brooklyn is like showing his asshole to the whole clan is on there.
You gotta send me that screenshot. I did not catch that.
It's very quick. The part where Lexington and Broadway were like cuddling is on there. Just I thought it was cute, but like I don't know if it's horny, but they did seem to be like.
I was too emotionally distressed to be horny during that whole sequence.
I don't have that problem.
I wish I were you. I also did notice that Goliath's pecs looked notoriously pretty. He had pretty fat boobs during the whole robot fight sequence.
Well, he was feeling a lot of feels, so as we've established now, when he's emotional, his chest gets bigger. Which is a great superpower to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no.
So, I don't know. My horniest, it might be, I guess, when... Yeah, I'll go with you on this one. When they first shine like the lights on Hudson and he raises his arms over his head and shows his armpits.
And he's just like, yeah, I'm not bulletproof at all. You guys should take me prisoner.
So, I noticed that. It's not the best, but we make do.
I think
some episodes are hornier than others.
Our dialogue was definitely horny when we were describing Hudson like being captured and manhandled.
That's because we're horny people.
Well, I'm just saying that assists with like choosing the horniest moment.
That's true. Who would the gayest character be?
Don't laugh at me. I'm thinking.
I can give you my response to give you time.
Okay, I don't have one. Give me your response.
Yeah, I think my response is just the same as last time. I thought Hudson letting himself be captured like that.
Yeah,
because he secretly has a thing for like strong men like corralling him. I don't know. That's all I got for this episode. There wasn't a lot.
No, I'm glad that out of all the moments, that was definitely the most fixative we were on just the whole
like it's either that or like the trio in general had a lot of cute moments in this. Like,
they have cute moments every episode.
They do because they're gay every episode, but
they need to kiss each other more on the mouth, and then
they really do, and on the butthole.
Yes,
we are finally through Awakening. I can't believe it.
Oh my god, you thought that was bad. Like, next episode.
Next episode, I already know next episode is gonna be our longest one yet because you're gonna have so much to say.
Oh my god, I am not ready. He's
Well,
I can already feel my asshole tingling just thinking about him.
you won't have to take notes for next episode because you have already memorized it.
Like, I think I've memorized pretty much all the episodes of the pack except like the later one in season 1, which I completely forgot about.
Oh yeah, they do show up again, don't they? Or
I think.
some of. Oh no, the twins show up again.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, it doesn't matter then.
Yeah, exactly.
The weird incest twins.
The incest twins.
Probably not. I don't know, but maybe. You never know. They are kind of weird and creepy. I always got weird vibes from them.
I do too, which is one reason that I like them. Because they seem like there's something like going on there.
I don't know.
So okay, are you aware, Sid, that we have 2 emails to look at?
I was not. I actually forgot I forgot to open the emails for this episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll start with the shorter one first. This is another email from Lucian, who makes sure that we pronounce his name correctly because he pointed out how to say it in this email. He says, "Hello again, you two. This is Lucian. I just have to ask, in your opinions, which of the Gargoyles gives the best hugs? And which one probably just tries to squeeze as tight as he can?" Lucian is into hugs.
He is.
knows about him.
He's...
So, okay.
Yeah. So, I am thinking. I definitely think, like, Broadway and Goliath are up there for, like, the strongest hugs.
See, I think that Broadway would give the best hugs. Because, like, there's so much of him to wrap
I feel like
around you.
Okay, so, like, what's the difference?
And, like, that soft belly as he, like, draws you in.
See, the email specifies the best hugs and, like, the other hugs that, like, will just try to squeeze you to death. And I feel like Broadway is in that squeeze you to death kind of, like, trifecta.
Yeah, I can see that happening, too. Like, he's, like, doesn't know his own strength, and he's like, oh, sorry. He, like, drops you, and, like, he's broken your
That's a very Broadway thing to do.
So I can. Maybe he wins both categories then.
For you, we still have the rest of the pack to go through. You foolish fool.
Well, no, this is just for the Gargoyles. Which of the Gargoyles gets the best hugs?
Well, I know, but I also want to dissect the other ones since we're talking about this. I feel like Hudson, in terms of like how he hugs, like, I would suppose he's rather submissive, and, like, you would have to be the one to hug first, and he'd be all surprised, like, what's this, a hug? And then it takes him a couple seconds, he's like, oh, whatever, and then he just, like, squeezes you.
He'd be like, oh, if you insist, lad. Yeah. He'd draw you against himself with his arm, and pat you on the head. Gives you a piece of candy that he has in his loincloth.
Daddy.
What am I doing?
You're fulfilling my fantasies, is what you're doing.
He gives you a lollipop.
Yeah.
I do feel like Goliath, like, I feel like he would also give very tight, squeezy hugs. Like, if he like, I could feel him doing that to Elisa after, like, he's very happy about something.
Goliath. See, Goliath doesn't, like, try to, like, kill you or anything. I imagine he'd be, like, very firm. He's a very firm hugger. It's like
I see him as maybe losing control, like, in the moment, and then realizing
maybe.
Like,
it depends on his mood. If he's in a good mood, he'll lose control.
Yeah, like, he'd have to be, like, really, like, happy to do it.
It's like when you see someone they have, like, a really strong and firm handshake. It's like that with Goliath and hugs.
Yeah, like, when I see Goliath, I see someone that's very strong and firm.
Lexington will legit just, like, jump on your back and, like, he'll just, like, throw his arms and legs around you, like, all happy, like.
Yeah, he'd crawl over you like an ant.
Like an ant?
Like an ant.
Oh, did you say curl or crawl?
Crawl. He'd crawl over you.
I thought you said curl at first, and I prefer that over what you said.
He'd crawl over you like an ant.
I really don't. That's not. I don't like that metaphor.
Okay, well, let me think of something else. Like an
He
earthworm.
wraps around you like a little garden snake. I
And Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn would just give normal fucking hugs. Like, he's not a crazy person like the others are.
No, he would give normal hugs, but you would notice how he's notably very warm. Like he's not firmer hugging than the others, but he's like a little bit warmer than the others, I feel.
Is
Like
it because he's red? Is that why he's warm?
no, he's like got a lot of like ample up cool guy body heat.
Oh,
Listen,
okay.
I'm an expert. Don't judge me. And
So that's all the.
Bronx jumps on you and licks your face. That's it.
Oh yeah, we always forget that Bronx exists.
Hmm.
Sorry, Bronx.
Well, Bronx is a dog. He's not a hunky gargoyle man.
But yes, thank you, Lucine, for your email. He also says it's been a lot of fun listening, and he looks forward to hearing our next episode.
Aww.
So sweet. Thank you. You are our highest. God damn it.
Our one of our most interactive fans.
Yes, he is our most interactive fan as of
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Our next email is okay. This is actually a very long email. It's sent to us by Chris, aka Rembrandt on Fur Affinity, aka that snarky Remy on Twitter. And I recognize this name because I think he's been following me for some time, and I know he's following the
Okay.
Loincloth Hour Twitter also.
Okay.
So let's see. He says, I'm absolutely loving your podcast. It's fun, compelling to listen to, and a lot of
Aw.
genuinely funny moments. Plus, barely anyone out there talks about or reviews the show as it is. So your podcast is a very welcome thing. I quite enjoy listening to the episodes being discussed by gay fans from their personal perspective, and very open about enjoying the eye candy and ear candy, thanks to some fantastic voice actors, and fantasizing about it too. Yes, thank you, Remy. That is what we try to do. We try to be extremely horny.
Yeah,
Talk about the show.
I think our thing is we don't hold back, and
No, I refuse to hold back
yeah.
anymore. Like, me 5 years ago would never have done this, but me now, I'm just like, yeah, I'll talk about how the Gargoyles turned me on. Like, I've stopped giving a shit.
God, I never gave a shit my whole life, and that's my problem.
That is good for you. I am glad that you did not have that experience that I did of being ashamed.
I don't know.
Because,
When I was in
well,
high school, kind
yeah.
of, but I grew out of it, I guess, pretty quickly.
But he continues that due to this factor, I wonder if you guys know about certain things that were revealed as canon to the Gargoyles show, but never actually mentioned in the show itself.
Mm-hmm.
Some of which is not safe for work. If you've heard these, feel free to ignore, but if not, I will reveal them to you here.
See, like,
Spoilers abound.
okay, so like when
a
you
lot of it's spoilery, so I'm not going to get into it. But go on, Sid. What were you saying?
see, like when you mentioned like some things that are canon that we don't know of, the first thing that went in my head was like, oh yeah, like Lexington being gay,
Yes.
which I adore. But because that's the general consensus, you always get a reaction from someone in some circle, like, "What? Lexington's gay?" But I am aware of that. But then you said not safe for work, and then I was kind of like raise his eyebrows.
Right. So I'm not sure where Remy got some of this. I'm assuming it's stuff that Greg Weisman has stated. He has a Greg Weisman, who is the showrunner of Gargoyles, for those who don't know, has had an Ask blog for many years, and I know that like a lot of information on Gargoyles came from this blog because he would just answer questions on it.
I see.
And I just looked at it today. It's Sector 8, or I'm sorry, Station 8.
Mm-hmm.
And the last post on it is from 2017, so it isn't updated in many years now. But back in the day, this was like the source on Gargoyle info because he was the one who created the show, and he would actually answer fan questions on it. And he wasn't afraid of like answering mature questions too. And some of this is probably also stuff that he's just said at like conventions, like the Gathering, which is the big Gargoyle fan convention that used to happen, which sadly I've never been to, but I wish I had been at the time. They've stopped doing them now, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
But Okay, so Remy goes that like there's a long list here actually of stuff. So
I want to know it all. I want all.
I'm gonna read through this. Some of this stuff I'm gonna save for later episodes.
Okay.
Because like all characters that like haven't been introduced to the show yet.
I see.
So let me look up non-spoilery stuff real quick here. Okay, so the first one, he says, it's been revealed exactly when both Goliath and Elisa became attracted to each other. For Goliath, it's during the episode The Mirror, which is a later episode, I think in season 2, when Elisa actually gets turned into a gargoyle. Like, according to Greg Weissman, apparently that's like the first time Goliath really saw Elisa like as a woman and was attracted to her.
Interesting.
Whereas for Elisa, she was attracted to Goliath the very second she realized that he was sentient. So like the moment he spoke to her, she was like,
see,
like,
that's cool
because his voice is hot though, and she was probably attracted to that.
Yes, that's cool though, because we definitely caught wind of some of that. Like,
like I don't know if I agree with Greg on this one actually, because I think Goliath is already attracted to Elisa. Maybe he is not aware of it, but like he's definitely already does have a thing for her.
I'm sorry, this is gonna take a while probably, but like, I'm gonna bring up Mass Effect again.
No.
Like, okay, but when you're romancing Garrus, like, it's clear that he has strong inclinations for Shepard, and it's not until, like, you initially flirt with him the first time that he realizes that there might be something deeper than that, because other than that, he's just a clueless dork. And he's not, like, into humans, but, like, once, like, the first time you flirt with him, okay, so he's describing wrestling another Turian on another ship. And
I'm into this.
Like a female Turian, I think. Well, it's still, you know.
Did you see how fast I lost interest?
Listen. Just because it's not gay doesn't mean it's not straight.
That's true.
So,
proceed.
So, he's describing that, and then, Shepard, I forget what she says exactly, she's like, it looks like you're carrying some tension, maybe I can help you release that, and then Garrus is like, Commander, I didn't know you were into sparring, and Shepard's just like, I was actually thinking maybe we could test your reach and my flexibility, and then Garrus is just like, yeah, definitely. I mean, and then he starts to rationalize a bit with it a bit more. He's like, yeah, we've known each other a while, and yeah, I don't see why not.
But he's overthinking this. He's like the sort of himbo that
he's a nervous wreck. He doesn't like he talks a big talk, but he doesn't know how to talk to he doesn't know how to flirt.
Especially not with humans.
No, he even states later, he's like, I'm not saying I have, like, a fetish for humans or anything like that. But it's like, he says that while, like, Shepard is kind of, like, just stroking his face.
He's Shepard sexual, like most of the characters are.
I honestly firmly believe that he's definitely more attracted to a person's personality than their species or gender. And that's why I believe he should be... Yeah, I believe he should be addressed as like Demi at some point, but that's just me. Okay, but that's it. I'm done. No more Mass Effect. Continue with the questions.
Okay, let me find another one. Let's see here. Can't go into that. Can't go into this. Can't go into that.
Oh my god.
Okay, next one.
Gotta see this email.
Weissman said that gargoyle mating rituals involve lots of flying and feats of strength. Which, so I don't, that just puts, like, a nice picture in my head of Goliath, like, flexing and, like, performing for Demona, and she's all like, oh, you're so strong.
Flying.
And she'd, like, do the same thing, be like, watch me lift this boulder, and Goliath's just like, oh my god, you're so fucking hot, step on me.
When you say flying and feats of strength, the first thing that went into my head was, like, sky wrestling.
Yes! I can see that too.
Oh wait, but gargoyles don't fly though; they glide.
Okay,
so it's a shame. It's a shame they can't have sex ever because they can't fly.
Even in this email, Remy went on. He says, considering Greg called it flying, looks like he even forgot the whole gliding on currents of air thing. So we're all reading Greg Weisman right now. For
Oh
Quality of
my
Flying.
goodness.
I can't fly.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, this is one that you'll like. This next one. Gargoyle genitalia is identical to human genitalia, like in just how it's composed. And when it comes to males, though, penis size is on scale with the body, meaning that the bigger a gargoyle is, the more equipped they are. Which I do not know where Remy got this information from. I hope you send us a follow-up email, Remy. Because I would love to hear this like from Greg's mouth directly.
I just kind of like lost my breath for a minute there. I'm just like...
So Goliath, canonically, I guess, does have the biggest dick on this show then.
No, but that means like Broadway and Hudson have like the most girth.
Yeah, so do you think that is what it is? Like, because they're, like, more thick, so to speak, that their penises are also, like, thick like that? Does that mean that Brooklyn has, like, a skinny but long dick? This is a lot to think about right now.
What Remy has just, like, delivered some very sensitive information, and we're just, like, we're like broken.exe right now.
Oh my gosh. This isn't the first time I've thought of gargoyle penis. You can't break me that easy.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. I'll take that into consideration the more we hornify against the gargoyles. Okay, next question.
Yeah. Let's see. So this one is more about the female anatomy of gargoyles. So a male human fucking a female gargoyle would be difficult because a female gargoyle's vaginal muscles apparently are very powerful.
Oh my god!
So they're strong enough to handle, like, you know, Goliath's massive dick pounding into them, for instance.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me I could get snooed by Demona?
Maybe. I think
that's not a maybe. That's like a definite. Like, her vagina muscles are too strong. They are going to crush me. I could get snooed.
You might want to be careful. You might want to wear protection of some kind, like a steel cage or something.
Okay,
because it's literal protection from her vagina.
It's like Sten from Dragon Age Origins. Like, when Morrigan suggests to sleep with him, Sten's like, "You will need armor," and she's like, "Never mind."
Oh my god!
You remember that, right?
I don't, but I believe it.
That totally happened.
I never slept with Sten. Wait, how is there even a way to sleep with Sten?
No, it's just companion dialogue.
Oh, cool.
I wish there were.
Probably, that would be nice. The Sten is hot.
He is.
Okay. But he does say that, okay, gargoyle eggs, when they're laid, the skin of them is sort of like flexible and elastic, so they don't get like crushed by Demona's like incredible vagina. They emerge unscathed, so to speak. So I'm glad that happens.
I'm really glad I know more information about gargoyle fertilization. I sound like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not.
No, I mean, like, I know that I would not be surprised at all if this did come from Greg's blog, because I remember lots of questions just on like gargoyle's basic anatomy that he would answer like in depth. Like his world is very thought out.
I'm glad.
The whole gargoyle's like whole deal is like he's given a lot of thought about how it all works. So
God bless Greg.
I'll accept this as canonical, like without necessarily needing to look it up. Like I would believe that he did say this.
Man, I need to go to his blog and ask a few questions myself.
You should. I don't think he answers questions on it anymore.
Aww.
I know, that's really sad, but we should ask him stuff anyway.
Yeah, I have quite a few things to say.
I think this is the last question, but there are at least 2 questions I see here that we can answer next episode.
Okay.
But the last one for today is, it's confirmed that well, for one, it's confirmed that Xanatos isn't 100% straight, which I think is very interesting.
That's cool.
I need to see where he says this, because like I know that everyone headcanons Xanatos as not being straight just because of everything about him. But I would love like semi-official confirmation.
Honestly, Xanatos strikes me as one of those villainous individuals in media where it's like they'll literally do whatever they have to, even if it's like sleeping with a guy, as long as it like benefits themselves.
Because he's attracted to power.
Yes,
That's what it is.
That's exactly it.
He's very into power play, like that's his kink.
Mm-hmm.
But it's confirmed that if Xanatos wanted to have sex with Owen would readily accept. Of course he would. Xanatos is his boss.
Oh.
However, Xanatos won't do that because he thinks having sex with Owen would be boring.
That is interesting.
I am outraged at this email right now because how dare you?
No, but that's
how dare you say
that makes sense though, because Owen's too...
Owen would do any freaky shit you ask him.
No, but that's the point. He doesn't want
someone.
He doesn't want someone that's servitude. He wants someone that compels against him.
He wants like a challenge. But like, you know, I still don't buy this. I think maybe he wouldn't like have full on sex with Owen, but I think if Xanatos is having a busy day, he wants just, you know, some relief. Owen is the guy who calls to like, either just give him a quick hand job, or to give him oral, like, under the desk while he's working. This is how I see the relationship being.
You need to write more Owen and Xanatos stories. Yeah, I feel like there's...
Write more. I haven't written any.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's a lot of hindrance there where it's like, there's something in you that wants to.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm like Xanatos. I need some give and take. Like, Owen gives too easily because
that's true.
He serves Xanatos in every way.
Yes. Are there any more non-spoilery facts?
That is the last of it. So I'll just close out with his last words. He says, "There we go. That's all the stuff Wiseman has confirmed as officially canon that he couldn't outright say in the show. Hopefully he'll reveal more someday. For now, you guys keep up the great work on this great podcast."
Aw. Well, thank you very much, Remy, for that eye-widening detail. I have to look at the other facts.
I love this letter, and I love that, one, there's stuff I didn't know in it. And
hold
on.
I'll do one better, because I'll just look at the email. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, you should. I just thank you for this. This is the best email we've ever had because there's so many facts in it. It was very in depth with information. So thank you. I feel like I learned a lot reading this.
Since we can't get into the spoilery stuff, I am going to log into the email myself and just capture my reaction.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I interrupted you before. Okay.
Your live reaction.
My live reaction. No, I'm not gonna update my recovery shit. Hold on, just let me log in. It's gonna give us another notification that someone's using our account, even though it's just me.
Love it.
Okay, so, let's see. Yada yada yada. Ooh, okay. Wait, oh my god! Oh my goodness. Yo, I'm into that.
I mean, it sounds legit.
Oh my god.
Was it the one about Demona and
Goliath? Yeah. Okay. So
although that's basically canon already. We can go over that one if you want.
The last one.
Yeah, I know!
The last one! Yo! I am fucking calling it.
We're gonna talk about this next episode.
God fucking yes! God! Yes! Oh my god. Yo, my heart's fucking racing right now. This is like how those like conspiracy theorists like for years will say like,
oh my god,
oh, the moon's made out of cheese, and then they see some news report saying that they found some cheese on the moon. Like, that's how I feel right now. You have no idea, because it's like I read into this so much as I was over the years, and to get this slight inclination from the creator that I was probably right, I'm like, oh my god, over the moon about it. Holy shit.
We should ask him directly.
We need to.
Greg, Please tell us.
Okay, so I think we can wrap it up here.
So we cut the spoiling information, but Sid has just like ranted at me for several minutes about how elated he is about one of the pieces of info in this email, which we will go over next episode.
We will.
So,
oh my god, I'm so
come
excited.
back, all of you. To hear Sid just gush for several hours.
Yeah. I'm like a mad scientist right now. Okay, so that was the last part of Awakening. Thank you for joining in. I am Sid. You can find me on Twitter at SidScripts.
Yeah, and I am Manicorn. You can find me on Twitter under the Manly Unicorn, or on Furt Affinity under Croup, spelled CROUP. Or if you followed my stuff in the past, I was usually Super Goblin under Super Goblin Stash. And you can find me on Patreon under Manicorn. I had to think for a second.
You forgot your name?
I forgot which name I use in each place.
That's adorable. Okay, so like I need to do an outro and end it quick because I still gotta gush about certain things.
God.
I'm like, dude, you don't even know. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Podcast over. Thank you, everybody. Let me stop that.